we'll start our interaction with our guest. Saurabh, a very warm welcome to our club meeting.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege.
Yeah, it's all our pleasure to have you with us, and we are so eager to hear from you the first-hand information how it all went. But before we start dwelling upon the question related to the subject matter today, if you could please tell us something about yourself, your background, your work, your profession, where are you from, so that we get to know you more.
Yeah, okay. So I'll start like I was born and brought up in Delhi, did my schooling from Delhi, went on to do my graduation BSc Honors Mathematics from Delhi University. Then I went on to did my Masters in Business Administration from Bhopal. Joined professional career in 2007 with ICICI Bank. Have privilege of working with ICICI Bank. I've also worked with Aviva Life Insurance, Care India, Ashoka Trust, Edugram Academy. So I have an experience of around 13 years in banking, finance, trainings, and education. I was privileged to work in Rajasthan for around 4 years. So with the base station at Jaipur,
Oh,
I was working with Mr. Mayank,
oh,
and uh, so have this experience. Currently I'm working in education consultancy in Delhi NCR with management colleges in advanced management courses, so wherein we have tie up with various colleges, and we help them in making their curriculum better and how to properly implement the new courses, because every now and then you have every semester some new courses coming in. So that is what you want to do with MBAs, otherwise all the old things are redundant. So this
absolutely.
is what we are into.
Uh, Thank you so much. Now we know you more, and we know that you have some roots in Jaipur also. At least you spent some part of your life in Jaipur, so
Oh
there is
yes,
a
oh
connect.
yes.
There is a connect. So it's like homecoming in our meeting. Again, coming back to Jaipur.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So now, first of all, we'd like to know, Saurabh, when did it happen? Like when, in which month, like you found that now you are infected.
See, it was end of May. Uh, to be precisely, it was 23rd of May. So at that time, this COVID thing was on a little. I mean, it was a little panic situation in Delhi. I would say other places were doing fine, but Maharashtra and Delhi were in grip of this thing. And on 23rd of May, on the night of 23rd, so let me just give you a little background about the family. So we have a joint family here. Our mom and dad live with us. I have a daughter, and my younger brother is married last year. So all of us stay together. So on 23rd May, my father fell down with fever, right? So in the morning of 23rd May, he complained that he has some fever. Now, end of May in Delhi is like extreme heat. It's a heat wave was going on. So being 72 years of age and being prone to extreme weather conditions, what we thought was that it is this heat which has got him rather than anything else. Because if I'll tell you what all information we had of COVID by that time, it was like the symptoms were like a high fever of 103, 104, and dry cough. So what my father was having was very mild fever, like 99, 99.5. So we were like, no, this cannot be COVID. Now the problem was that, and what the normal medicine, PCM worked. So he took PCM and the fever was down. So again, after 6 hours, 7 hours, the fever was up. He again took PCM, the fever was down. There was no symptom, no other symptom. After around 3 days, when the fever didn't go, and rather it started going up. So from 99 it went to 100, and then when it started crossing 100, that was the time when we got suspicious and a little worried as to what exactly it is. So I think after 3 days we took him to a private hospital in Delhi, and the first thing they did was prescribe an RT-PCR test, so which was conducted, and the next day our worst fear came true when he was like COVID positive. He was detected COVID positive. So that is when it actually happened.
So, but I believe that you all were having all the precautionary measures in fact, like you were, because that was the time of lockdown also. So I
Yes.
believe you guys were not going out, and even if you were having the sanitizers and masks with you. So how did it all happen?
See,
How you got it? Like from
that's
where?
that. that is something which is very hard to answer. Reason being, this is something which we are fighting. This is an invisible thing, right? So nobody can see it, nobody can feel it. And I guess the biggest problem of COVID is that even the symptoms comes a little late, right? So how exactly it happened from, see, and the worst part with us was, being in the lockdown, it was a consensus in the house that the elders of the family, especially my mother and my father, they would not be going out except in the rare circumstances wherein there is an emergency, and for example she need to go down and get the groceries and something like that. That was the only way my mother and my father was going down. So that is what why I'm saying that in the first go it was really difficult for us to contemplate that, you know, our father has got COVID positive. So all the precautions were taken, but from where and why it happened is something which is, I mean, we cannot answer because we do not know exactly why it happened. Secondly, since I'll tell you that we three of us got infected with COVID-19. So to be 100% sure, I do not know whether my father got it first or I got it first or my mother got it first, but the symptoms were first shown by my father.
Okay.
And so when we got him tested and he was diagnosed positive, after that, we all, the entire family went for that RT-PCR test. And me and my mother were diagnosed positive, and rest of the family was still COVID negative.
So, but now if you reflect back, suppose if you think that what could be the possible scenario, so do you have any probability, okay, maybe perhaps that day that happened, that could be the reason, something that a probability, not 100% surety, but if you reflect back, so could you give us idea that what could be the
See,
possible?
the only thing which which we see is that since our father showed the symptoms first, so prior to getting infection on 23rd of May, he was out in the place like 3 or 4 days back. So that is the best we can guess that he got it from there. Or rest you do not know, because see, it's very difficult to keep a track of each and everything, where you touched, where you didn't touch, and especially at an age of 72, I mean, I do not expect him to be like so
Correct.
100% this thing. We were very cautious at that time. Like we used to wear gloves, we used to sanitize everything whenever we are coming, we used to keep our shoes out of our house and all those things. But I do not expect him, and I guess that is my best guess at where he should have got this infection from.
Okay. So how was it like once you discovered that okay, this is something that has happened. So what went through your mind? Like if you could take us through the psychology,
See,
like
the first 2 days were utter disbelief, shock, disturbance, tension. I mean, that was something which was a little unbelievable. You know, we have mentality of upper middle class. This cannot happen to us. We are taking so much of precaution. There is 1.3 billion people in India. How can this happen to me or to my family? So this was the first thing that was in our mind. And the second thing was we all were running for the next 2 days together. All the information available on the internet, calling up each and every doctor or a medical staff who's there in our phone directory or in our relation or anybody who's known, to gather all the information we can on this COVID thing. But I would say that today I can say that the more information we got, the more confusion it created. Right. So rather than being focusing on one thing, it created more confusion. So first 3 4 days were really hectic and chaos, and after that we realized and we sat down like how to exactly go about this situation. We all got tested, so now we knew that yes, we have 3 members in the family who are COVID positive, and we 3 members with different I think symptoms. I was asymptomatic. My mother was having mild symptoms with mild fever and mild cough. But yes, after 4 5 days my father's condition started deteriorating, right? So he was having high fever till 103 104, high cough, uh, strong weakness, vomits, and everything started going on. So it was, the first few days were really problematic.
okay. So in the May, I think we all know that all the front warriors, like be it medical staff or police, they were under tremendous stress and pressure. because the numbers are piling up. So how was their behavior in response to you when you met them, you encountered the medical team? How did they respond? What was their behavior? Were they considerate, helpful, or you could see that because of so much of stress and pressure on them, you were not being treated properly?
Uh, okay, so when it comes, so how it happened, I'll tell you. As soon as we got tested, so first of all, my father got tested, and the reports came out positive. The next day, we got a call from so we got two calls from the medical team. One was from the central government side, and they told us that you have been diagnosed positive, which exactly was the situation, and that they are transferring our data to the local medical team. Then we got a call from the local medical team about the the condition of my father, about his vitals. They asked about his vitals, and they prescribed a few medicines, saying that it is better if you remain home quarantined. Right. Since at that particular time, like when he got tested, he was not having so many symptoms. It was mild symptoms by that time. Fever was like around 102, and no other much symptoms by that time. So what they said was to remain home quarantine, and they asked all of us to go and get tested. And next day, now the problem started. So next day, the people from medical staff, some people from medical staff came to our house. Like they didn't came inside, but this pasted a sticker of home quarantine for 16 days in the front of our house, and they just ran away. So we don't know who came, who did this. Okay, but then okay, so we had this sticker. But now the problem was that everybody is home quarantined, even people who are negative, so they are prone to get that virus from us. But still, we had no clue like how the things would be, like how we'll get our milk, how we'll get our bread, how we'll get our medicines, and who will go out, who will come. Nobody. So there was absolutely no help in this sense, I would say, from anyone. Yes, the medical staff kept on calling every day in the morning around 11 or so to know the health and how things are going. That was one thing that was happening. Now, what exactly happened is, like after 4 or 5 days, when my father's condition worsened, so we told the medical staff regarding this. Now, the problem in Delhi at that time was there was only 3 private hospitals that were having COVID wards. Otherwise, it was all government thing that was having. So those 3 private wards were also having very small amount of beds available to them. So it was a true chaos at that time in Delhi. Private hospitals were charging exorbitant. Either they were not having beds. All these problems were happening. So when the condition of my father worsened, and he started showing symptoms which were not good, in terms of a little breathlessness, in terms of high cough, in terms of high fever, which we told to the medical staff. So what medical staff did was they sent an ambulance, and they said that we'll take him to the nearest COVID facility. Now, this particular thing has, so we were confused, like how to go about it. But then we said, okay, it's better to take medical advice, and it's better to be under the supervision of the doctors. So the ambulance came, and he went to the COVID facility. Now the problem is that there is both positives and negatives attached to it. The positives are that he got oxygen supply, he got supervision of the doctors, he got some treatment. But the negatives, and which are more problematic, were lack of medical staff, then the kind of the atmosphere they have, and the fear you have when you get out of your house. Right. So when you are in your house, you are in your comfort level. When you are in a hospital ward, your comfort level is gone. So psychologically and emotionally, you are in huge tension. Now, what happened was, okay, when you see people wearing white astronaut kind of kits, which we call PP kits, no offense. So I mean, they worries you, like, what is this? And the biggest part was, no doubt about the capability of the doctors. We have excellent medical facilities. We have excellent medical staff. But the kind of the disease or the kind of the infection this is, which is highly contagious, nobody wants to come near to you. That's a plain, simple truth. I
Correct.
mean, it's a very plain and simple. So the problem was that the doctor would visit from a distance of, let us say, 20 feet in the morning, and he would just ask, "How are you? And are you taking?" Because there is no medicine to it. So what they'll do is everything they'll give you is a supporting treatment. They'll give you azithromycin, they'll give you a paracetamol or a dolo, and they'll give you other treatments which are just supporting treatments, because we still do not have a cure for this virus. So so the doctor will ask in the morning, "How are you?" and things like that, and then he'll just go, and then nobody will come till evening except the ward boys, who will keep on, mopping the floor so that the virus doesn't get here and there. But I would say in the next 2 days in the hospital, or the 3 days in the hospital, my father spent, his condition, instead of improving, it worsened. Reason being that the virus was not going, or the body was in the fighting phase with the virus, but psychologically and emotionally, my father was facing a lot of problems there. So one of the story which I'll tell you is like what he said when he came back was, like, in the one fine evening. So he was having that nebulizer machine to take the medicine, and after that, so one of the person from one of the bed nearby, he came to get that machine from him. So he got the machine, and he was taking it, and they were talking and everything. In the morning when my father woke up, that guy was in a body bag. So the evening and the night, everything was perfectly fine. In the morning, that person is in body bag. And now the biggest problem or the challenge with the medical staff here is that the doctors won't come and remove the body. It's as simple as that. So there are absolutely people who would come and do that, and they are not available 24 into 7. So for some uh, time, the body has to remain there, because there were protocols and things like that. So that created a lot of problems in everybody who was at that facility. So finally, after 3 days in that hospital, we made a decision that let's bring him back. Whatever happens, let's bring him back. But by that time, we had, I would say, we had this thing in the mind that we will get some facility at home. So we got oxygen cylinder, we got oximeter, we got nebulizer, we got other medicines, so that whatever happens, I mean, we are able to face that at home. So we brought him back. 2 days were really crucial, but then after that, he started showing positive signs. So I would not say that there is any fault of this medical staff, but I think this disease is something which we do not know. I mean, even they do not know. And in my house itself, I would say that I have seen three different people with three different symptoms. So this is something which I think we are still not ready to fight.
It means the medical staff were helpful and in whatever capacity they could do, keeping distance from, because they need to protect themselves also.
Yes.
So, but
yes.
You got the support from them.
Yeah, I got the support. See, the support was there. So when we called the ambulance was there. So even when my father came back, medical staff used to call daily. They used to call for our health daily, for my health, for my mother's health. They used to call daily.
Fine.
And they used to keep a track. But yes, as a patient, when you are in that kind of a condition, when your fever is like 104, when you yourself are not in a position to get up, and so see, I'll tell you the problem. These small, minute problems. So when you have some different disease and you go to that hospital, so you have a nurse which is there for you 24 into 7. So if you are not eating breakfast at time, there will be somebody who will give you breakfast at, let us say, 11 o'clock.
In this case, it is.
In this case, it is not there. So if you are not eating the breakfast at time, there is somebody would come and just take it off, and then now what you will get is at lunch. So this is a problem which is.
Yes. Yeah. So how long did you guys took to recover? Like in how much time everyone was fine?
Yeah. So this is interesting. My father and my mother, they recovered well in time, like the 16 days quarantine time. So after I think 18, 19 days, we all got tested again. So my mother and my father, they were negative. And the best part is my reports came positive.
Oh.
So I was COVID positive twice. Right. So for the first 18 days, I was self-quarantined without any symptoms. And then again, my report came positive. So for the next 18 days, I was again quarantined without any symptoms. So the worst symptom I can remember happening to myself is headache. Right. So I had no fever, I had no cough, nothing. maybe exertion sometime, but that was, I thought maybe because of the situation that is going at home. But other than this headache and exertion, I didn't get much of any other symptom. But yes, I can say I was quarantined for more than a month because I was diagnosed COVID positive twice in a row.
So you were taking medicines also, or because there were no symptom, you were not taking anything?
No, since there was no symptoms, so I was not taking any medicine. But yes, one thing was there that, when you have this kind of disease and you talk to a lot of people, so everybody starts telling you you should start taking haldi ka doodh, then pyaz khana shuru kar do, kali mirch khana shuru kar do, and so everybody starts giving you these things, which I appreciate, but everything cannot work for you. It is better that you have to think of what exactly will work for you or how you feel comfortable with. So yes, one thing which I am sure and I'll tell everybody is to work on your immune system. See, you cannot fight this disease without your immune system. It's your body that has to fight it. So we started taking vitamin C, we started taking zinc, we started taking some kala, which my mother used to make in the morning. But yes, I didn't take any other medicine, like no paracetamol or any other thing, since I didn't had any symptoms.
So after being diagnosed twice, did you went for third test also?
Yeah, I did. And this time I went for it, like 16 days was the quarantine time, the second time as well. But I went after 20 days, and yes, the report was negative.
So was the third
And
test the last test?
the problem I'll tell you is that after 16 days of quarantine, that time when we call the medical staff, the government medical staff, they said, sir, 16 days ho gaya, it's like your quarantine period is over. You so didn't had any symptoms as well. So why do you want to go for the test? So I said, okay, I do not want to go for a test, but let us say I have to resume my office and they want some kind of a negative report from my side. So they said, okay, sir, you come to us and we'll give you that you have completed your quarantine period and there is, like you are perfectly fine kind of a thing. But
It's a
still, I
negative
was
report
not.
without undergoing test.
So no, they'll not give me a negative report. They will say
Okay.
that quarantine period is over and like you are fine types. So they
Okay.
will not give a negative report. But they were like of the opinion that please do not go for the test. So there
Oh,
is no need to go for the test. That was, to be the crux of the what they said was that there is no need to go for the test, not for you, not for your mother, not for your father, because symptoms are gone and quarantine period is okay and you all have recovered well. But still, we wanted to be sure, so we went for the test. And when my report came positive again, that was like, what is this? Like, I still have that virus and I can give it to anybody or not, you do not know, but still you have this apprehension. So that is something which was a little demotivating from the government side.
okay. So after you tested yourself thrice, then you got the negative report. So when
Yeah.
was that? In which month you got yourself tested?
That was I would say in the beginning of July, because 23rd of May my father fell ill. He got tested around 25th or 26th. We got tested around 28th of May or 30th of May, around so. And then we again got tested around 18th or 19th of June, and I was again positive. Then I again went for 16 18 days quarantine. So my last report that was negative was around, I guess, 8th of July. So
So
from
after that,
23rd of May to 8th of July, the entire house was like problematic.
yes. So after July, like it's September, do you think of undergoing test? Because at times we see this in media reports that this has a habit of recurrence also.
Yeah,
So,
this has a habit of recurrence. But the
so
problem is,
you
since
thought of
nobody
going
in the
for test
house,
again? Yes.
not really, not me. My brother went for a test, not because he had symptoms, but because when he joined his office, they wanted. Because the problem is, I'll tell you. So as soon as I got the positive second time, so everybody else was quarantined as well. See, if one of the person in your house is COVID positive, so everybody is quarantined, right? You are not supposed to go out of the
Correct.
house.
Right.
So he was also, like, my brother was also at the house, so he was also not joining his office. So when I got negative, he joined his office. Then what happened was one of his colleagues got infected after a month or so. So because he got infected, so the office was shut for 2 days for sanitization. Then he went for test again, but he was negative. So rest of us till date have not gone for the test again.
Do you think that one should go for like after a quarterly test in that case? Do you recommend that? Do you think so? It can benefit
See, as per the
at least
reports, because
mentally
yeah,
yes, at least.
I'll tell you one thing is this reports that comes in. So it is still a lot of confusion that is there around this thing. So people say that you have antibodies, you will not get it for the next 3 months or so. People say that you can get it earlier as well. See, I'll say that going for test or not going for test, unless you have somebody you have come in contact with who has this virus, or unless you feel symptoms, you should not go. I'll tell you why. I have seen the condition when you go for the test. So see, the people who go for the test most probably have COVID-19. So if you feel symptom, then you go. So it's better to be safe at home. Otherwise, other
Correct.
than being negative, going there and getting a
Correct.
virus.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So
No, my idea behind asking this question is because we all know that this is something which is external. For example, if
yes.
somebody is fine, something from external environment gets into your body and you get infected. But for those like who got infected, can it be internalized also? For example, suppose somebody is fine, cured now. It's been around 2 months, 3 months, but and he is in home quarantine. He hasn't moved outside. He is in like not in touch with external environment, but because that foreign material was inside the body, could it be possible that it was dormant for maybe 1 2 months and he got reactivated itself without like getting it from outside world? Is there any possibility of that or no?
See,
Nothing like
I
that.
am not a medical expert, but I think, in my personal opinion, I think that this scenario is not possible. Reason being that uh, if you get negative report after 18 days or 19 days, that means you do not have the virus load. And why you do not have the virus load? Earlier you had virus load, that is why you were positive. Now you are negative, that means you do not have the virus load. And the reason behind that is that your immune system have beaten the virus, right? So I do not think that it will come up again. Even if there is a slight chance, you have those antibodies for the next 3 months that will help
Yes,
you fight with it. But
correct,
yes, there is every chance that if you'll move out of your house, then you can get it. So don't you, so no, so there is no need to be like being a hero in terms of that I have
correct.
got it once, so for the next 3 months I am free. No, even if
Ah,
today I move out of house, I take sanitizers and masks and everything with me.
like yes, you can have immune system, but you cannot have immunity, right? So be careful.
Yes, yes.
Right. So, but once you started recovering, like what everybody is talking about the symptoms that can tell you that, okay, now perhaps you have the infection. But what are the symptoms of recovery? Like, what are the things if you start feeling in your body, you can think that, okay, now I'm on the recovery path. Are there any
See, I'll
symptoms
tell
of
you.
recovery?
Yeah, so especially for the people, and I guess most of the people are asymptomatic. Why I say this is because even as per the ICMR Sero survey, in May end there were around 64 lakh people in India who were exposed to this virus, right? The report today also says only, I don't know, a small part of it. So I think most of us are asymptomatic. So for asymptomatic people, there is no symptom of getting ill and there is no symptom of getting recovery, right? For example, me, so I didn't felt any symptoms, so I didn't felt any symptom of getting recovery as well. Now, for my mother and for my father, I'll tell you that my father, the best recovery sign was the fever coming down. For 12 consecutive hours, the fever did not touch 104. Otherwise, it was going above 104. Right. So once the fever started coming down, and I'll tell you the highest symptom he had was he had breathlessness, he had shivering when the fever used to come down, he start to shiver. And when the fever goes up, he was like burning at 104 or something like that. So when the fever didn't go for 104 for 12, 13 hours, we were like, yes, he's on the right path. For my mother had mild symptoms, like she was having mild fever, mild cough. But one thing which was problematic with her was she lost this taste, right? So this feeling of taste started coming back after after like 12 days. So when this feeling of taste started coming back, so we were like, yes. So because she was having mild fever, so fever didn't, I mean, going off fever wasn't the recovery sign. The main recovery sign was this feeling of taste coming back. So I would say the people who have symptoms would have this recovery signs. Otherwise, asymptomatic people, they won't have any recovery
Yes,
signs.
absolutely. So now if we talk about the society in general, because at that time, at least if not now, there was a stigma attached to this disease. So when you and your relatives, your neighbors, found out, like you told that people came in, they put the notice on your door, and they just ran away. So how do you see? Was there any shift in the behavior of people around you?
This is an important thing. You know, most of the time we see these messages on our WhatsApp. No, your neighborhood and your friends are tested when you are in difficult times. So I actually realized this thing. So you will have your the society, especially at that time, because that was the beginning of this pandemic. I would say
Correct.
in Delhi, May end, because in March and April it was complete lockdown, so so it could not spread at that speed. The lockdown was going a little, you know, they were just opening up a few things when we got this infection. So society, everybody has a different perspective. We had neighbors who shut their doors to us like anything. They don't want any connect with us for the next 18 20 days till till everything is sorted out. And then on the other hand, you have people who'll call you up, will tell you that if you need anything, you just give us a call, we are always there to help you. So you know, this multifaceted um, society which is there, it shows its colors. And yes, you would observe it from everyone. See, the point is, especially with the people who are in contact with you, right? So people who are not in contact with you, for example, somebody sitting in Jaipur, he came to know that I'm COVID positive, he gave me a call and we used to talk, right? So not a problem. But somebody who's like my next door neighbor, he stopped coming out because I was COVID positive. And then you know, there are rumors. You get to hear these things. There are rumors in the society saying that, oh, they've got positive, and his father is like 72 years of age.
Uh,
All these
Correct.
thoughts and talks and gossips that keeps doing rounds and this and that. And then especially, you know, everybody is like seeing when the ambulance came and he went. And then there were rumors again when we got him home back and he was still quarantined. And then, you know, I was again like positive for the next time. So
Yeah,
it was really problematic. But yes,
it is
there
understandable.
are,
Yes,
yeah,
given
there are people
given
who
given
shut their doors, there are people who open their hearts.
Yeah. No, but that's pretty much understandable also, given the panic that was created about this infection in media and so much. People,
Right.
that kind of a behavior or a reaction was pretty much understandable also, because that's what happening all around. But
Absolutely,
once,
absolutely.
do you see people coming back to their normality after you all are negative, or
Yeah.
you could sense that
See,
there are
see,
still some
there has been,
apprehensions?
yes, yes, yes. No, no, no. Once we are okay, once we have started moving out, everything came back to normal. That is one thing. And secondly, I think that now being into this pandemic and people being more aware and have realized the fact that you have to live with it. See, earlier it was like this mentality that this could not happen to us. Now people have realized that this can happen to anybody, right? So nobody is like invincible to this infection, and this can happen to anybody. So they have stopped looking at it from that angle. And yes, with more awareness and of course with more people falling down to this infection, the mentality has changed, and they have now considered it to be a part of life that you have to live with.
Okay. So now a couple of more questions, then we'll open up the forum for people to ask question directly to you. But before we
Yeah.
open that, like what kept you motivating? Like, because I can understand, like in those times when everything was closed, but now things are pretty much okay, because more people are having it. So people also tend to think, okay, this is something fine, curable. But in those times, having it and entire family going through that patch and that hospital scenario. So what was that one thing that kept you motivating? Because to be mentally positive, physically positive, being something which is not desired of, but being mentally positive and pushing yourself, being hopeful, you need some source for that positivity. So what was your mantra in that time? What was going through your head that pushed you forward?
See, for the first phase of this infection, the motivation was basically, I mean, it was not about motivation. It was about, since the other two members of the family were were in a more dangerous situation than me, so I was more into helping them, right? Even visiting my father to the hospital. Being COVID positive, I used to visit there because there was no other option. We cannot just leave one of our members there in the hospital at the sake of the medical staff who visits once in a while. So for the first part, but the second part, when everybody was fine at home and I was COVID positive, that was really challenging, right? It was frustrating, it was boring. So yes, the motivation factor was talking to people who really hold that, top position in your life, calling them, talking to them, people you share a special bond with, people who matter in your life. So all those people used to talk to them. They used to, always motivate me that, just keep going. ठीक है यार, वो कितना रह गया? 10 दिन रह गया. Okay, it's okay. 5 दिन रह गया. It's okay. And then I'd say that yes, I started developing a few hobbies in terms of reading novels. So I read novels. So because you have to, I would say, indulge in something. You have to be busy. You cannot fight this. See, I'll tell you, there are two things to it. One is if you are ill, if you have symptoms. So if you have mild symptoms, still there will be a part of the day when you will be having fever and you will rest because you cannot do, your body wants rest. If you have serious symptoms, then there is no need of, like, of course you will take rest and you will do this. But if you do not have any symptoms and you just are quarantined in a room and you don't have anything else to do, you just cannot go out. You have to wash your utensils yourself, you have to wash your clothes, you have to do everything on your own because nobody is coming near to you. And of course that is for your safety and for the safety of your family members. So at that time you really really need motivation. It is better you talk to your family members, talk to your friends, indulge in some hobby, do something good. So for me it was basically, I would say, those special people in my life which I always looked forward to.
Thank you. So any final message, like if you are to ask to give a message to everybody, those who are facing this issue or those who are not facing this issue, any one message, what would be that?
Okay, so the first message would be that COVID-19 can happen to anyone, right? It is something which we should not be, we should be cautious about, but we should not be fearsome about. It's an infection. It can happen to anybody. Yes, it is causing mortality. I am lucky one that all of us got out of it. There are unlucky people every day, but since this infection has gone to every corner of our country, nobody is invincible. The second part I would say is, in case you get the slightest hint of any symptom, or even if you get, this apprehension, जिसको वहम बोलते हैं ना, अगर वहम भी लगे आपको कि no, you are going down or you have something which is there, I would say that now it's easy to get tested. Earlier it was a little difficult to get tested. Now I hope so that it's easy to get tested. You should straight away go and get yourself tested. It is better if the report comes early, if you get to know early about the symptoms, about the conditions, so that you are able to save other people, I would say, in the family. Because it's very difficult to, something which is you cannot see, आपको याद भी नहीं होगा कि आपने कहाँ हाथ टच किया. आप 1 मिनट पहले आएंगे घर में, ऊपर से नीचे या नीचे से ऊपर, आपको नहीं पता होगा कि आपने ग्रिल पे कहाँ कहाँ हाथ टच किया, किसको टच नहीं किया. So I would say, get yourself tested and build your immune system. See, all the medicines that are available in the market, all the medicines that will be prescribed by the doctors, they would be support treatment. We do not have a cure for this virus. Let it be the paracetamol or the azithromycin or whatever they give you, or the nebulizer treatment. Everything is a support treatment. It's your immune system that has to beat this infection. So I think, and my message is for everybody is to increase your immune system. Eat whatever you feel like, be active, do exercise, do yoga, indulge in some physical activity, right? But develop your immune system. Start taking vitamin C and zinc. Everybody, this is something which is very local. So you can take some vitamin C tablets from the market. Yeah, start eating that because that vitamin C helps to build your immune system. Start taking hot water, uh, and what do you say? This honey with the hot water. So all these things that will really help you. So you have to work on your immune system really, really well.
Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you so much, Saurabh ji, for sharing your experience with us. And it was really, really, I would say, touching. And we learned a lot from you, like what all you went through. And kudos to you, like you stayed positive, like a rock of Gibraltar, I would say. And you came out of this situation victorious, like you are an inspiring model for many, many of us now and maybe in future, that who can look up to you like and get some hope and positivity that this is not something as horrifying as it has been projected, but yet at the same time cautiousness and immunity are two non-negotiable things we should take care of.